Hello, I'm Bill Dingus, Executive Director of the Lawrence Economic Development Corporation and the Chamber of Commerce. It's indeed our pleasure that you've joined us to help look at manufacturing in Lawrence County. We're extremely excited about what's going on, the growth in county, and the return of manufacturing to our community. Today, you're going to see how we are probably the center of much of the river industry. You're going to see products being made for Facebook, for Microsoft, for Toyota, for Honda, for numerous companies, all being made in Lawrence County, Ohio. Thank you for joining us. We'll let you hear from some of our companies, our plant managers, our people who are making it happen.
The Machining and Robotics program at Collins Career Technical Center focuses on preparing students for careers in precision machining, fabrication, automation, maintenance, and other areas of advanced manufacturing. We are one of 23 affiliate sites of Ohio's Robotics and Advanced Manufacturing Collaborative, or RAMTech for short. RAMTech is backed by dozens of corporate partners throughout the state who work closely with the collaborative to ensure that students are learning the skills needed in today's modern industries. Juniors in the program focus their attention on using our manual and computer numerical control lathe and mill to fabricate parts or repair components like hydraulic cylinders. It's this real-world experience that prepares students to thrive in the workplace after high school. In recent years, we've partnered with the Lawrence County Veterans Administration to create the Veterans Memorial at Lawrence County Courthouse, as well as restoring a World War II cannon for display in Ironton, Ohio. Seniors in this program focus their attention on using, programming, and troubleshooting our Yaskawa Motoman and Fanuc robots. These are the same robots you see on the floor of factories all over the world. Some of our students have even been accepted in the Advanced Manufacturing Technician program at Bridge Valley Technical College and went on to work for Toyota. You can find out more about our program at collins-cc.edu and RAMTech at ramtechohio.com.
I'm Zach Moore. We started here at Swift Manufacturing in 2011. We're a job shop that covers a pretty large area in a pretty large territory. Primary clientele is some big local machine shops, all the large steel mills still in the area, some of the chemical plants, automotive manufacturers in the area from Toyota in Buffalo, Toyota in Georgetown, Kentucky, a little bit for Honda in Marysville, Ohio. Some of the sanitation departments from different cities in the area, the city workers in different areas. We pull from about 400 different clientele. Me and my father started this company after I graduated college, took a job out of the area for a while. Didn't really care for that, rather would have been back home. There was a need for this type of a business here, type of supply here. My contacts through internships and working through college was able to grow, and my father's contacts where he had been in the industry for so long. So we were able to come in and fill a niche that was needed in the area. And we're continuing to grow. Started a small company with just, like I said, one guy. So we've continued to grow every year, and it works out good. And Lawrence County is a good place for that. Economically, you can grow. Cost of doing business is very low here, which is a plus. So we're looking to grow and looking to expand. This machine is a standard 2D water jet cutter. It does have dynamic taper control, which will allow you for straighter corners, more accurate parts, but it's still just a 2D 3-axis machine. So this is a 5-axis water jet. Still 87,000 PSI, but it's a 100 horsepower machine capable of 15 foot by 10 foot by 12 inch thickness. This machine is a true 5-axis, so you have an X, Y, and a Z, B and a C motor on top. So you're capable of doing countersunk holes, weld bevels, any type of plate prep, any type of bevel, angular cut, anything of that nature. So this is a Trump 1030 2500 watt solid state CO2 laser, complete flying optic, so stationary bed and then your head is flying. We processed up to 3/4 inch mild steel, 3/8 stainless steel, and 1/4 inch aluminum over here at a much more cost effective manner than off of the water jets. These are just robotic tugger carts, so they'll get a hitch placed onto that, get pulled in a train throughout Buffalo's plant. Those are shipping pallets for Toyota. Of But we're kind of a job shop. Anything and everything that comes through, we don't try not to turn too much down. So we're QCing a part using a system that will compare the actual part to the drawing, sort of a modern day optical comparator. Old steel mills around this area, the print got lost in 1940. You can take it off, place it on here, reverse scan it, then go in and add your critical dimensions with the engineer at that point. Speeds up the drawing process quite a bit. Right now, especially in the metal producing industries and the steel industries, everything is subtractive manufacturing. You start with a large block of material and you remove from it. And now everything's starting to transition to additive manufacturing. Started with 3D printing of plastics. We're actually able to 3D print metal now in small production environments. I see that as the future. Pretty soon it won't be, hey, I need a gear, so let's start with a block of steel, let's cut it, let's machine it. It'll be, let's design this gear and let's print this. This area needs to catch on board with some of this stuff. We're lagging behind to an extent from other areas, and there's a few that are trying to push it along, but it would help to have people that move into this area that have a background in it, have the drive in it. That's a key thing. This area at one time was a world-renowned leader in steel production. So I would love personally to see manufacturing come back in here. You got to have your main producers, and then you can get manufacturing off of that. What we do now is mostly supply to places that are steel production, places that are automotive production. I would love to see some of that secondary production come back in here, some of the arts, statues and things of that nature that you see in some of the more thriving areas around the country. But in order to do that, I think we do need to get a lot of manufacturing type of jobs back in here. And it's great with Liebert's next door, but they're pretty much the big boy in Lawrence County as far as a production facility goes, and we need more of that.
My name's Carl Grover. I own the company, president of it. I own all the stock myself. And, I have one other employee, my general manager. He owns a piece of the company, which I gave him. He's been with me for 30-some years. So. Since I've been in 60 years I've been in business, I've probably retired at least 400 or 500 people. And right now our employment's down somewhat, but we're trying to hire some people right now. And we're looking for some skilled labor. Machinists, welders, mechanics, just mechanically inclined people. I can teach them what they need to know. When I was in the high school, I took 2 years of trade school. I took 1 year in the 11th grade. I took welding for 3 hours a day. When I was in the 12th grade, I took machine shop, which was 3 hours a day. And anyhow, I'm just looking for some people that I can train. Anybody that's mechanically inclined. The type of work we do is something that our customers can't get anybody else to do, basically. Or they don't have the personnel to do. You take one of the railroads, we make parts for all the railroads, CSX, Norfolk Southern, BNSF, everybody else, all over the country. Biggest part of railroad manufacturers. And probably we've got the most capacity of anybody in this area that does fabrication and machine work. Now I have 3 locations here that I'm doing this stuff. One here in Ohio, 2 in West Virginia. And each location does a different part of these things. It would have been nice to start out big and just have all of it in one place, but we got a lot of travel expenses here between. I have 3 different corporations. This is Indian Incorporated of Ohio here. Well, the chassis on the largest forklift we make weighs about 60,000 pounds, just the chassis itself. The company that I'm doing these for, someone told me, said, you ought to call on Taylor Forklift. I said, who is that? Well, I got to look around at all these steel plants, and everybody has Taylor forklifts. They're heavy forklifts, and you get to go to all the shipping places where you see the rail cars going by. Those containers have to get on that car, they have to get off that car, and that container weighs 120,000 pounds. And my forklift will pick them up and load them right on the truck. You know, take them from the rail car to truck to the manufacturer or the sales. If you go about most of the big retail industry all over the country, in behind their store, you'll see containers sitting out there, maybe 8 or 10 of them. And that's the stuff that comes into the shipping port from all over the world. In these containers, they get to different parts of the country on rail. You can sit by a railroad. Anybody can see them. You go by a railroad. If a train's on the track, you'll see containers. People ask, what is that? I said, that's what I make.
My name's Justin Apgar. I'm the compliance officer for Superior Marine, as well as the director of shipbuilding. We are a barge repair company, a boat manufacturing company. We also do, we operate vessels on the inland waterways, all the way from St. Louis to Pittsburgh, even up to the Chicago area. We look for first, good character in people, good work ethic, but skill specific would be welders, fitters, fabricators, machinists, equipment operators. A lot of those positions are hard to find in the youth these days, and we would love to see more and more people taking interest in these fields. This used to be an industrial community years and years and years ago. And industry has kind of left the area, which has left this area depressed and economically depressed, and stagnant and somewhat shrinking. And we are seeing a turn towards manufacturing once again, and we need to embrace it. That's what has developed this area to be what it is now. And in order for it to grow, it's critical. It's critical to the industries. The waterways that we have nearby, the resources that we have to utilize the resources. We've got lots of talent that's just untapped. Things are developed from start to finish. We've got the steel, we have places that cut the steel, shape it, blast and paint it, and build with it. Building boats is what we do. But there are lots of other things that can be done with it. Manufacturing parts for mining equipment, for oil and gas industry, for auto manufacturing, all the things that we need to be a self-sufficient country. I've been with Superior for nearly 6 years now. It came from the mining industry. And to work for a company like Superior that builds custom vessels. This is our 27th boat that we built. And the reputation of these boats is second to none. I've been to trade shows in St. Louis and New Orleans where they find out I'm with Superior Marine, and they ask about the boats that we've built. They have a reputation. They're unlike anything else in the industry, and they outperform light horsepower vessels. It gives a big sense of pride to be a part of that, and to see it come in sheets of steel, and we spend our sweat and our efforts into building it, and then it exits out a working vessel that'll outlast all of us on the water. It's just a big deal and an exciting thing, and I never would have known about it if I hadn't looked into it.
My name is Jake Aramosby. I'm the VP of Operations, work for Intermountain Electronics. We've been in business since 1985, so 36 years now. Privately held, family owned. We have 4 manufacturing locations across the United States. This facility here is in South Point, Ohio, and we've been here for 7 years now. So we manufacture electrical distribution equipment, process equipment, control and automation equipment for energy markets and kind of infrastructure. So it could be anywhere from a coal mine to a gas site, to a power plant, to a data center, to a wind farm, to a solar farm. It's the whole range of industries and areas. We have quite a few engineers that do the design and development of the product. Electrical engineers, mechanical engineers, we're always looking for good talent there. On the manufacturing side, we employ welders, electricians, quality technicians, painters, laser and brake operators, quite a few different trades, I would say.
We've got kind of a circular flow in terms of our manufacturing, so we don't ever want anything to move backwards. We want to take raw material in, ship finished product out. So this is our incoming warehouse receiving area, and this is really kind of the first stage in the process. So this is where our metal processing starts. We're doing cutting, bending, shearing, using a CNC laser and a press brake. And then our fabrication group welds everything together, fits it up, aligns it, make sure it matches all the prints and specifications. Once they have finished fabricating it, it gets painted. We side and insulate it for kind of weatherproofness and for aesthetics. And then all of the guts go into that. The equipment could be anywhere from a piece of switchgear that powers a power plant, to a data center server rack, to a battery storage enclosure, to a motor control center control house. Could also be piping systems for like a wastewater treatment plant. So that'll sit on a concrete pad. What they'll do is they'll bring their cables in from the bottom. I mean, this is pretty high voltage. I think it's like 35 kV. And there's these huge cables that come in from the bottom that plug in. So they want to have room underneath to work under it. So we build all the stairs and platforms that go around it so they can actually get into the building. We do all the structural analysis, all the design, all the modeling, so that it meets all the wind ratings and load ratings and snow load ratings and seismic ratings and all of those things that you kind of have to think about. This is what they look like before they have any equipment in them. And then there's staging equipment to be set inside of it. And then they'll do all the interconnects once it's inside of it. A lot of what we do is we design safety systems to prevent people from getting into things or from accidentally accessing dangerous areas. We can do a lot with interlocking kind of safety pieces. But there's a lot of stuff that goes around it to make them smart, to make them safe, to make them efficient, and so that you can control them from pretty much anywhere on the planet. You know, these are pretty large structures. We build pieces that we have to actually split so that they'll fit on a truck so that we can ship them. We're constantly expanding, so we're building new engineering offices. So as we have future growth, we've got places for people to sit and work. We're purchasing extra land so that we can grow our facility, so that we have more manufacturing space. So we're pretty forward thinking just in terms of always trying to stay ahead of where we need to be so that we can continue to grow.
We have very good neighbors. We have great partnerships with the county and the Economic Development Group. We have a very good, dedicated talent pool. So being in kind of a smaller, semi-rural area, we have a lot of people that line up with our company core values. I mean, hard work, teamwork, that's kind of, this area is known for that. So it's really nice that we have availability to who we're looking for. So that's why we kind of target these smaller towns and areas, is because they line up with our core values a lot better. Manufacturing is extremely important to our economy because it is our infrastructure, right? It's what makes everything work. It's what allows us to do everything else. So That's why we're really proud of what we do, because we're supporting every industry that the U.S. is currently in. So that's pretty cool when you look at our product mix, when you look at what we do, you look at the customers we have and who we help. It literally touches every piece of society.
We're kind of right in the southern Ohio, northern Kentucky range. I mean, we run about a 350-mile radius of our wood basket. And you know, we're kind of a central shipping area also. You know, the rail hubs is pretty close. You know, all of our domestic shipments is, you know, it's kind of on the mainstream of getting backhauls and being able to put deals together for customers. That's kind of why we've chose, you know, the area we're at. Everything we buy here is all, you know, purchased lumber. It's all green lumber. We bring it in here and we process it. We try to consume everything the tree offers. Once we grade it and it's been dipped, the ends is waxed to sealed up. So when it's drying, it don't bust the ends of the board. The sticks go on each layer of foot increments, and that lets the proper airflow under that board. Every board of this is graded length, width, and grade. And it's captured through our system. Each load of that, I can tell you how much uppers, how much common, how much two commons in that bundle. We're running about 850,000 feet a month through here right now. The lumber is brought around here on what we call just a dead pack. And then it's processed here. This operator here actually reads that board and we cut it to length. This process is what you actually call end trimming the lumber. We do a 3-inch overlength when we package everything to go in a kiln. This gentleman's name here is Larry Kingery. He's been with me for 30 years. And he does all my grading. You can see where he's got a voice tally system here. He can grade the width and the length and the grade of that board every time it comes down there to him. Now, this is actually where the main grader is. These fluorescent marks is what the grader, it shows the optimizer of our operate our saws, tells the computer where to cut that board. The machine right here reads these marks and it'll cut that off. This camera here reads every one of those boards and captures the grade all the way through this whole system. Calculates my grade, length, and width, all done computerized. This man here puts bands on it and then it's set on the tally deck. Sets it on here and we weigh it. Each bundle gets weighed so we can maximize the weight on our trucks. A tally man, he'll tally each one of these boards and then he tells you the weight, the date it was produced, the thickness, the species, the average length, what grade, and how many layers. Each one of these boards is measured individually. Now when it comes down through here, the finished prep, we'll seal the ends with our paint, our logo that we use. Yeah, every board of that's graded as it comes off of there again. And that's how I double check my graders out there to what I have here. And everything here is set up now under voice tally. It's all done with headsets, talks into the computer. That gives you an accurate count to be fair with the customers and fair with us. There's actually 16 kilns here on this facility. There's about 840,000 feet of kiln space. This is a 65,000 foot kiln right here. There's fans, there's 4 fans in each one of these kilns that we can control. You know, a lot of times if we have product that's a little bit too high moisture content, we have to put fans on it for so long to pull the moisture down before we put the heat to it. It's all a drying process that has to be handled properly. This is one of the control rooms. We do every kiln off of what we call the kiln boss. We can go into the system here and track every kiln. Every day we have to do a stress test on our product when we get it down to a moisture content that we want. You know, that's no stress on that. That means that board is dried properly. That's done on a daily basis of every kiln here that's running. There's a moisture content checked and a stress test every day. Well, the most important part of manufacturing is manufacturing a quality product and be able to help the neighborhood, the workforce. I mean, at the end of the day, I can't do this without the right help. There's no way, shape, or form. You know, it starts, you know, if you want to put out a good product, you got to have good people behind you. You know, we have from operators to machine operators to loader operators to graders. And you know, that's something that you don't learn overnight. The sky's the limit, you know, as far as if you want to apply yourself, you can come up the line pretty good here.
I'm Rick Griffith. I'm the president of McGinnis Incorporated. Generally here, the main thing is towboat and barge repair. We do operate towboats here. We have fleeting and harbor service here. Fueling operations, we fuel a lot of the boats, midstream fueling operations. We have a terminal in Coal Grove, Ohio, where we load and unload barges. Also do one in Wortland, Kentucky. We have a terminal there as well. So we have our operations in Cincinnati, Ohio as well. Barge cleaning, barge repair, operate towboats and fleeting and harbor service there. So, and then, you know, we extend on down to Paducah, Kentucky. We have a full operation there. Hartford, Illinois, New Orleans, and Seattle, Washington, we have just diesel shop. For us, like we used to build towboats a long time ago, and we kind of got away from that and just got basically into towboat repair and barge repair, but now we've got back into, started building towboats again, and we hope to keep continuing that as long as the market's good. The coal business was the big business around here, and barge repair was tremendous. And all the coal business is pretty much, it's gone. It's not a fourth of what it used to be. So you got to go out and find new things, new opportunities.
It's a 4-blade propeller, stainless steel, probably a 76-inch wheel. What we'll do is once they come in the shop, we'll look at the damage, see what kind of damage is on it. If the flukes are bent up, we will heat and beat them out. Then we'll put it on the table here, check the pitch, put it back in pitch, then get it off the table, do the edge work, any kind of welding on it, and then clean it up, balance it.
Yeah, we're always looking for, you know, you have a lot of welders here, mainly welders. We have diesel mechanics also that we use. We have electricians here on site. Have our machine shop up there at South Point, the other yard. So we have just a little bit of everything. You know, it's all hands-on work. It's all manual labor. You look for people that's good with their hands, not afraid of work. Well, it's good for the economy. I mean, the more manufacturing you can do here, the more people you can hire, the more taxes they pay, and just trickle-down effect to all the small businesses, tremendous.
Gee, thank you for joining us. What did you think about Lawrence County's manufacturing? How much I learned, and I hope you did too, and can see such a bright future for our community as it grows. Today's presentation, you saw all the companies that were with you, from making the finest furniture for the world market, making Taylor forklifts for the largest forklifts of the world, towboats and barges and products. Unreal. So thank you for joining us. We do want to thank Armstrong Services, their cable company, and particularly Doug Morse, who did all of the filming and putting things together. We thank the Chamber of Commerce with Shirley Dyer and Marty Conley and all the team that helped make today possible. If you should have any questions or ideas what we can do to enhance manufacturing, you know, none of us are as smart as all of us, so always feel free to call me or any of our team. But thank you for joining us today, and thank all of those to help to make this possible.